Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Thank you so much for clicking my video. I hope you in the good condition and the good health and also in the good wealth and the good money and whatever, and I hope you always happy in anywhere. So let me introduce myself. My name is Fadhil Raihan. I'm student from English Education Department in University Islamic State Syarif Hidayatullah Jakarta. So in this video, I will review the books I have learned and I had read before to fulfill assignment of extensive reading course in my class. So I will review the books. The title is The Pathway to English for senior high school, grade 11, in the group interest. So let's check this out. The title of this book is The Pathway to English 2 for the senior high school, grade 11, in the group interest study. The author of this book is Teresia Sudarwati and Eudia Grace. The book has published in the 2017. The publisher from this book is the Penerbit Erlangga. The number of pages is 220. The book code is 004 and 373 017 and 1. And the type of this book is a workbook, because the target from this book is for study a student in the senior high school, grade 11. This book has 10 chapters with various themes, and each theme has an exercise related to the topic being discussed. Each exercise is given an example in the number 1, so the student can see example of an answer before answering the question given. And the content of the in each chapters. The chapter 1 is what do you recommend. This chapter is explained about how to sustain good relationships among the teachers, student and others. This chapter will be discussed furthermore about how to express suggestions and recommendation in transactional and interpersonal conversation, and how to read for getting specific and detailed information from the text, and listen to get detailed information from the instructor, especially from these books. The instructor is teachers, and how to write to express the suggestions. And the chapter 2, the name from this chapter is I Have Waited a Long Time. This chapter explains about how to explain, ensure, the guide, and promise to others. This chapter will be discussed furthermore about listening to words related to the past perfect, the present perfect, the future perfect, and how to impress in interpersonal conversation using the past, present, and future perfect. And in the reading section, we will be how to get specific information and get the main idea of the text, and how to write the sentence with using past, present, and future perfect. And chapter 3, if you need me, I will always be there. This chapter explains about how to sustain good relationships among the teacher, student, and others using conditional sentence. This chapter will be discussed furthermore about how to express a conditional sentence when doing a simulation and a role play. In the reading section, will be explain about how to read for getting the detailed information and get the gist of the text. In the listening section, we'll be listen to decide the function of conditional sentence, the type 1, and how to write expressing of conditional sentence type 1. And next, the chapter 4, the name chapter is the friendship is like the holy tree. This chapter explains about the poem as a way to improve the creativity of the student. This chapter will be discussed furthermore about how to reciting poems, how to read for getting detailed information from the literature words, listen to get the meaning of the poems, and how to write the poems in the various poems. And then the chapter 5, the name of the chapter is the story to remember. This chapter explains about how to enjoy, to entertain, to teach moral, and to be a role model in applying morals. This chapter will be discussed furthermore about how to read a short story, how to read for reading to get the basic information and to get the main idea of the narrative text. And also the right section will be teach how to rewrite the short stories. And the chapter 6, in the name chapter, Hold on the Moment Please. This chapter explains about how to sustain a good communication between a consumer and a producer to gain mutual advantage. And this chapter will be discussed furthermore about how to use various expressions of making and talking call to make an appointment and reservation, instructional and interpersonal conversation, and how to read for getting detailed and specific information from the conversation and listen, and also the listen of various expressions of making and taking a call to make appointment and reservations, and how to write making a taking a call to make appointment and reservations. And the chapter 7, the take time to read the brochure. This chapter explains about how to promote activities, programs, figures, etc. to attract the targeted audience's attention. This chapter will be discussed furthermore about how to read for getting detailed and specific information from the brochure, leaflets, pamphlets, and the flyers. And this chapter will be listened to get detailed information and specific information from the brochure and or the conversation, and how to write the brochure, leaflets, and pamphlets and flyers. And then the chapter 8, let me give you an example. This chapter explains about how to give an example for others. This chapter will be discussed furthermore about how to give an example, instructional and interpersonal dialogues. And in the reading section, will be teach about how to read for getting information. You get for getting detailed information and get the main idea from the text. And listening section will be how to teach listen to get the detailed information. And write section will be teach how to write setting the good example by using for an example and such as with the proper punctuation. The chapter 9. The name chapter is it will be better if. This chapter explains about how to state opinions about various topics in the form of tertiary text in a responsible way. Tertiary text in a responsible way. This chapter will be discussed furthermore about monologue and or tertiary text. How to read for getting detailed and specific information from the tertiary text, and listen to get the specific information and to state whether the statement is true or false, and how to write the tertiary text. And the last chapter is Let's Sing Hit Songs. This chapter explains about how to understand the message of the song and appreciate the song as artwork. This chapter will be discussed furthermore about how to express happiness through songs, how to read the forgetting detailed and specific information from the songs, and listen to completely missing lyrics in the songs, and how to write a narrative, opinion, and message from the songs. This book will be suitable for the grade 11 in senior high school, like had written covered in the Roman number X and I in the Roman number, and for students who are interested to develop their English skills. The reason this book is suitable in grade 11 because there are many instruction and also practices for students to improve their capabilities in English language skills. The dislike from this part from this book is in the listening section. They are this listening section, but they are not facilitated with audio or recording tab. The reason the listening section is the worst part of these books because when I use these books for me as the antonymous learning, I have difficulties to develop my listening, the skills from this book. Yeah. If I am the author of these books, I would like to add feature QR code in the listening section that had a content recording tape. My reason to add the QR code because it is very helpful for me and anonymous learner to develop their listening skills, and also helpful the teacher to teach English, and students can easily answer this question from the section. Yeah, from on scale of 1 to 10, the difficulties from this book for me is 6. Rather easy to learning from these books. Yeah, that's from me. Thank you so much for listening. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.